Hi guys, welcome back to another stream of It's a DarMar, episode 36 if you can believe it. And today I have amazing guest Milivoj Popovic. He's also a friend of mine and he does a lot of crazy stuff in this. Zbrush also has a Udemy class and is now preparing a competition that just started. So immediately from the start I will say please do join the competition because I think it will be amazing, and I brought him on this stream so we can talk about his work, competition, and the prime studio that he is the owner of. Hi Milivoj, how are you?
Hi everybody, can you hear me?
Hi everybody, you're like Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi everybody.
You might know me from such movies as
So we have a huge number of people waiting for you. There is 35 people waiting for stream to start, if you can imagine, like a superstar.
Oh, yes, it's because of my sexy profile picture that you have down there.
Is it because of that or because of your hair? I'm not sure. Something is happening
Yes,
there.
we will have a hair battle, definitely.
Yeah, that will happen. How are you, my friend? How are the things with Corona and quarantine?
Well, actually, I've been really busy. Because I still haven't rested, so to say. We were finishing our VR short film, and we were just in the last weeks of production when this whole thing kind of hit Croatia as well. So we had to dislocate. Everybody had to go homes, and finishing a VR short film while people are in different locations is challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, I can only imagine, like this quarantine time, Corona thing, it's gonna change the industry forever because it will close everything, and we now everybody needs to work at home. There is no more can I work from home. You need to work from home, and it's changing everything. From arts, everything's gonna change after this, but I think that's also good for us because you're located in Croatia, I'm located in Serbia, and I think that will lend us some more job opportunities because I think it will be a normal thing to work remote, because working remote is still not a normal thing, even though people think it's a normal thing.
It is. It's not normal, and I just had a gallery exhibition opening like a couple of days ago. It was a virtual gallery opening, and it was really cool.
A virtual gallery.
Yeah, and everybody was on Skype. Everybody could join on Skype, and you had the opening talk, and it was really cool. I was standing in my home, and you only have to dress. I think people are gonna stop buying pants because for all of these talks you just have to wear clothes, from your upper side, whatever is under the table, it doesn't matter. So like this stream, you have no idea where I'm streaming from. I could be it could be my bathroom.
You can be.
So I don't want to freak people out.
Turn off the water. I can hear it in the background. When I make a bad joke, you can pull the water. Like,
No. I respect DarMar. I respect DarMar.
I respect Milivoj.
I dressed really nicely for this stream.
You're really dressed nicely. Yeah. I can tell you I'm in my pajamas, but okay.
Well, I'm also lying. I'm streaming from my bed. I'm in my bed right now. That's the only place in the house that's quiet enough. I don't have my kids screaming, so
safe place. So today I brought you on the stream because I want to talk. You have a Udemy class that has been going crazy. I want to talk about your work, about your prime studio that you co-own with your brother, your sibling brother, and I want to also talk about the competition. But I first would like that you introduce yourself, because I introduced you, but I would like you to introduce yourself, who you are and what you do in a little bit more elaborate way.
Well, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to all my Udemy course goers who are listening to us, who are going to be listening to this stream maybe later. It's great to see all of you guys live here. I hope more will join as we continue. And so, a little bit about myself. Okay, so I have my studio that I co-own with my brother. It's called Prime Render Studios. I think like half a year ago we changed it. It was Lemonade 3D, and now it's Prime Render Studios. We were Lemonade 3D for a long time, since 2004. So we have a studio for a very long time now, and mostly we do short animated films. And multimedia for culture and for arts. And aside from that, I started teaching a couple of years back, and I made one course called Sculpting in Zbrush that I published on Udemy, and I was really surprised with all the good reactions, and really love my students. They're the best. We also have a Facebook group where we share everything that we do. And big shout out also to my brother Veljko. I don't know if he's here.
Probably not. He doesn't want
probably
to
not.
He doesn't want to participate.
And to everybody else who is watching, listening right now.
A lot of shoutouts in first 6 minutes. I'm playing one of the videos from your Prime Studio.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
The one that was awarded with many awards, as you could read on my screen. And you were called Lemonade 3D, as you said before, and I remember it was Lemonade. What made you change the name? If you were since 2004, man, Lemonade 3D, now what happened?
I have to shake it up a little bit. Oh, Veljko is there. Okay, Veljko is there. Hi, Veljko. Good to see you.
That was my reaction. That was my reaction, but I didn't want to say anything because you were talking like...
yeah, no problem. You can interrupt me. No problems at all. So, Veljko is there. Okay. Rodrigo is there. Oh, okay. So let me start talking, not just reading people's names. What were we talking about? Okay, Lemonade 3D. Yeah, we're Lemonade 3D. We were Lemonade 3D for a very long time, and it has a big history, and we changed a lot since 2004. We had our third partner who's no longer with us. He's not dead. He's just no longer with the firm. He's dead to us. No, just kidding. So we kind of, we changed, and the studio grew, and we just decided it's a good time to maybe shake things up a little bit, change the name, change the visual a little bit. We started focusing really intensely on short film production, and just started our pre-production of our feature animated short film. And this kind of change we felt also warranted the change of the name as well. And then that's basically it. It's not a hostile takeover or something, so filmic or anything like that.
I see.
We like to shake things up, We just like to reinvent ourselves as the time goes, and it's just one of the symptoms of that.
Yeah, I mean, change is inevitable. You always need to change something. It's just the way it happens, And I've seen studios change their names after some time because they change also philosophy, and it's time to evolve and upgrade.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to me to see that. But why Prime Studios?
Well, why Prime? Actually, it's Prime Render Studios, and we're just wanting to think of a cool name. That's So we started. I wanted to call us Platinum Super Group. So people would think we're huge. Platinum Diamond,
Platinum
like
disco
that.
label.
Yes. No, we were just we wanted to find a name that's that kind of resembles our philosophy as well. And so we went through a few iterations, and kind of prime render spoke to us. We liked it, and the domain was free. And that's just one of the practical sides.
But you know, that's so important. Like when the domain is free, it's crazy how everything is freaking taken. Everything. If I wrote DarMar stream sucks big time, I think it would be taken. Like everything is freaking taken. Like you can't take anything, which is crazy.
There's no more free domains. And also, you have to be careful that it's not too similar to some other studio that is kind of in your own field and stuff like that. But names, we're not, names are important, but they're not that important. What's important is the work behind the name. So, I think that's,
Yeah, the name, the work behind the name markets the name, and that's how. Yeah, that's absolutely. I always take iPhone as an example, like freaking Apple, and you have an apple on the back.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But then you build a good marketing, and everything is cool. Everything is cool with the good marketing.
Yeah, and the fact that the apple, it's kind of the bitten apple. It's Adam and Eve story that really nobody. You don't see it associated so much with the sign and with the name. It's kind of, it's interesting, but I guess they're just so huge that, they overpower anything.
Marketing.
So just wanted to say, hi to Barak and Axel. I see them, some of my students also popping up. Hey, Bojo Balov is here. Bojo, I see you. You are now free to leave. He's our latest studio, enforcement. He's the new hope of our studio. I told him he doesn't show up, he's fired. So Bojo, I see you. Your job is safe.
Guys, I have a suggestion for you all. Please don't write anything in chat, because Milivoj will be answering to everybody hello after everything.
Oh my God, Jonathan Lloyd is also there. Hi, Jonathan. Hi. Hi, Nikos. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. So he's gonna say hi to everybody, and the stream's gonna be all about hi.
Yes. Okay.
So,
focusing on
Yeah, let's focus immediately now. Let's make an introduction. This is the thing that the Tortago. Am I pronouncing it right? Tortago, the turtle.
Yeah, actually, it's Turta. Oh my God! I actually it's based on a work by Vertex B. That's his handle.
Martin
Sergey,
from Bulgaria.
Is it Sergey Punchev or Martin? Martin, it's
Sergey
Martin.
Punchev is the brother of Martin Punchev.
Yes, Martin. Yeah. It's been a long time since I said his name, but I said it so many times while I was working on this. So he actually named it a little bit different, and I just misread it, and I wrote Turtago, and it stayed Turtago. But actually, the original name is a little bit. It's a little bit different, and it means turtle, and Turtago really means nothing.
Well, it's a quite cool name, to be honest. That's a good marketing.
Yes, it is. It is. So I changed it a little bit. From his original title, and I love that character.
It's a very cool character. There is a lot of color in it, and I like the execution, how you did it in Zbrush. And this is something that your students in Udemy class learn how to sculpt it, right?
Well, actually, they learn it's a Zbrush course for beginners, aimed mostly at beginners and intermediate. So we start from very, very simple forms, and we start sculpting apples and bananas and stuff like that, and then as the course progresses, so we start sculpting more difficult sculpts. And I actually didn't want to give them the assignment of sculpting this particular sculpt, because it's a little bit too complicated, and I wanted them to sculpt something new, something different. So the end sculpt is actually from also a very good artist. whose name escapes me right, Matthew Bartholomew.
Okay, I know who that
yeah.
is.
Yeah, you know him. So he created one. It's an ugly monster, I have to say, but I felt it was really nice. It was just the right amount of complicated so that people could actually sculpt it at the end and make it look really nice. And I'm super proud of the sculpts that some of the students made. They're really, really good. I wish I had some to show right now, but I didn't prepare it.
But NDA, let's use that as an excuse. NDA.
Yes, of course. That's the excuse for everything.
You signed a deal with
I love that.
students that it's an NDA, and you can be showing that work for next 4 years.
Yes. That's how I build my portfolio. I just put in some great names and just say, sorry, I can't show anything because it's under NDA.
I know a guy that got a job in car design when it was the most competitive era of car design, 2010-11. He would lie to people that he worked for companies that he never worked for, and he would call out the names that he knew from the magazines, and they would give him the job like that. And he changed 6 jobs in 1 year like this, because he would come to the job and he wouldn't know anything, and they would kick him out after 1 month, 3 months, and eventually he went to one big company. I'm not going to mention which company because everybody will know who he is. He went to that big company, and he came there, and he said that he knows one the design manager, the one big one, and the design manager was in the building that time when he was coming there. Can you imagine that situation? Like somebody.
What did he do?
Well, they kicked him, but nobody.
You have to go all out.
Nobody knows what really happened. But I didn't see his name in the car design anymore, so I don't know what happened there. So guys, don't use Milivoj's name anymore, please, and you will be safe.
Yes. Okay. So I see. Nikki saying Tortuga. So Tortuga is the right calling. So yeah, that's okay.
Leave the chat. I will be taking care of that. Don't worry. If there is a question, we will be answering them at the end of the stream. For now, we just talk about your work.
No problem.
So how long does the Udemy class last?
Well, it's pre-recorded, so you can take your own pace, and it has 30 hours of teaching material, and after each section there's a PDF that you have written out everything that was talked about in that section. So if you want to just browse and see what you learned and stuff like that, and I even made quizzes. So you can quiz yourself after each section and just see how much you retained and stuff like that. So I guess you can finish it in like a month or 2, depending on your pace, or you can take as long as you like. That's the cool thing with pre-recorded classes. And we also have the Facebook group, Sculpting in Zbrush Udemy course. That's the name of the group, where all the students can come and they post their work and they ask questions and hang out, and it's really cool.
Yeah, must be cool to learn something like this. I remember when I was starting out, everything interested me. Like, I can only imagine coming and modeling fruit and then moving and seeing the progress to something more complex. It's always nice to feel,
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I mean, the system that I took is actually from traditional sculpting, because I have a master's degree in traditional sculpting as well. So it's just like very simple forms where you can learn so much. People usually, they like to start complicated, and we just want to create something, big and ostentatious, and we want it to look great, and we feel that this is the best way to learn. But actually, you can learn from very, very basic forms. You can learn a lot. You can sculpt an apple your whole life and become a master sculptor just from that one subject. I kind of took it, just kind of trying to get people to get in a controlled way, starting from simple shapes and really trying to understand the form, and then, kind of progress.
You gave me now a great idea, because this is, I think, 20th stream that somebody mentions the simple forms, fundamentals, because
is it?
This is, everybody mentions them. I always mention them because fundamentals are freaking important. Like, everything's made for the freaking box cube, from the freaking box cube, from the cube, from the ball, and from the cylinder. Everything in this life is made from that. Like, and I have a now great idea. I will make a T-shirt. Learn your fundamentals.
That's a good one.
I will make the T-shirt and become finally rich. Learn your fundamentals. It's a DarMar stream. Okay, now somebody's gonna steal my idea. But yeah,
that's it.
Everything starts from a cylinder box, and
I want 10%.
15. And everything starts from that cylinder box. Ball, like, it's crazy, it's crazy. I talked with Nemanja Stankovic in 3 streams ago. We also mentioned fundamentals, and I will mention this one more time. When I was studying, average duration that people would be working on the fundamentals, like drawing circles, lines, then boxes, and so on, they would do that for maximum 5 to 6 days, because I have it written in my book. I write statistics like that all the time. So and after 6 days they would quit and just start sketching something random. But when I talked with artists who are successful, they would do box, cylinder, ball for around 5 to 7 months. All the successful art, 5 to 7 months mastering those.
Yeah, but it's not, we have a culture of, grabbing things immediately. Now, I need it now.
Now,
I need it now. What's the shortcut? Give me the shortcut. That's what we like.
Yeah, in everything we do that. It's in our nature. It's in our nature.
Yeah, that's good.
Depends. Sometimes not very good. But
I noticed it. It's actually in everything in life, because I also play a little bit drums, and it's also like everybody just wants to start playing grooves from day one, which is also very nice. I have to say that's how I learned. I wasn't very disciplined. You just want to have fun with it. So I think there has to be a balance. It has to be fun also in the beginning, so you're not frustrated. Just drawing a circle for days upon days you really need to have a certain mindset and discipline for something like that. But I definitely think it's a huge mistake just to jump over steps.
Yeah, true.
That's something that's because it's so hard to. It's very easy to climb a ladder, but to come down from a ladder, if you put your ladder on a wall and the ladder is not high enough, and you climb your ladder and you see it's not high enough and you have to climb down, find a bigger ladder. That's so painful, when you realize, okay, I have to regress back, and it's very hard to do so. It's very hard to say to yourself, okay, I have to go back to fundamentals.
It's one of those things. It's like when you're climbing a tree, as you said, ladder, and then you come to the top and you don't know how to come back. And you move when you're a kid and you jump down and you break your legs.
Yeah, it's interesting, but a lot more people die climbing down from Mount Everest than climbing up.
Yeah, I know that. It's crazy, right? The body can't get adjusted to the lower oxygen because it's so.
And also, you focused on this goal of coming there, and then when you have to come back, you just, it's hard. Are you following this chat? This chat is really great. I love
following the chat.
They're asking,
say hello
you want to make a Udemy. You want to make a Udemy course on playing drums? I love it.
I know. So you're asked to make a drum course. But speaking about that, climbing to the top, it's hard. Nobody can deny that. But when you come to the top, that's the problem. And a lot of any successful person has that problem, that they fall in depression, like when they climb the top, especially a hard top, and they don't know what to do with life. Boxers, musicians, and so on. It's a tricky game, man.
Yeah, I know. I also had this problem because I'm at the top.
Of course. You're making
No, I'm
evening
just kidding.
courses for playing drums.
Of course, yeah. That's no. It's. I mean, I don't know. This word "successful" is just so abused and funny word. I really think it's one of the worst words in human history. I think we should ban it. I think that word is a horrible word, and I have no use for it.
What do you think about the word humble?
That's a much nicer word.
I hate it from the bottom of my heart because it's misused, because it's so misused.
That's why humble is also misused, but not so much, you don't see it. I mean, I've been to Japan in a film festival, and that's a culture, it's a crazy culture, but they really have this humble feeling to them, and I love it. I think it's great. Of course, humble doesn't mean you think of yourself like you're shit. That's not humble. That's just, depression or something like that.
It's one of the misused. It's one of the most misused words in our industry, in art industry.
Yes.
It's literally like humble is. You have to be humble. You have to be humble.
Yeah.
You have to be humble.
Yeah.
And then
you have to let people walk over you. That's what they want to say. You have to let people walk over you.
I am seeing a new trend of artists that are just emerging. That are saying in every post of theirs, but I'm humble. I'm very, very humble. I'm very, very humble. Dude, you don't need to say it. If you're humble, everybody's gonna see it. It's like saying I'm the best artist in the world. No, you're not. If others don't see it, you're not. And there is also that misconception. True. Humble is sitting in a corner not talking with anybody, like. But humbleness comes in a different forms.
That's definitely not humble. That's just low self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Humble and low self-esteem have no connection to each other.
Also like connection.
Yeah, being arrogant is also has no connection with being capable.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing.
People will tell me that I need to be more humble when I was starting out, and I was like, then the problem would arise. And all of the humble people around me, nobody would want to help that problem except for me. And I was like, well.
Hey, we have to talk about Zbrush. I see.
We will talk about Zbrush.
Ginfritter he asks, how does this conversation have anything to do with Zbrush? It's sculpting is a philosophy. You have to. It's an inner journey.
Well, my Gnomish workshop friend, the connection is that this is an art discussion, and we are talking about everything art.
Yes.
So there is art in this whole talk, but we will be talking also about stylized Zbrush characters. So please
let's talk about moving points. Let's talk about moving points and vertices and subdivision levels.
We apologize if I failed you, but don't worry, the best stuff is coming very soon with the Zbrush.
This was good stuff.
I think it's a very interesting stuff because everybody's drawing, not everybody's talking about psychology in this field.
So, yes, it is true. Let me just say this. I want to say this. I have to say this. I feel it's very important. Like so many people, because I have a studio, I was in position of hiring people many times for our projects. And people think, if you become the fastest and the best sculptor in the world, people are going to want to hire you. And that's just not true. I have to say this, you can be hired as a tool, as a cog. Here's a sculptor number 175, plug it in the machine. And all they care about is how quickly you can sculpt the face. But that's not even something, why would you want to be, put in that position? There's qualities that are much more important, and that's how this is connecting to Zbrush and to sculpting. It's not the most important thing in the world. It's not to be, the fastest. There are other things, you have to start using your head as well, and that's what we were talking about.
I had the luck to hang out with some high quality sculptors from Serbia, traditional ones, when I was still figuring out what I'm gonna do, and with clay sculptors in car design also, which are insane. And I always wanted to learn about that. how do you do it successfully? And I got an answer from one Italian sculptor. Two things, Darko. One is knowing who you are, and second, it's time. Because sculpting is presenting your soul to the world through your hands. So if you don't know who you are, you will never be a successful sculptor. And the emotion will not be visible on the surface, or it will be very jittery, especially in car design. And I loved that interpretation. I loved it so much because it was so true.
Well, cars are, all art is about emotion, actually. And that's one of the things that I always say to people, you should go out and live life as well. Not just, stick your head in front of a computer screen and just sculpt 24 hours a day. You have to have experiences. You have to think about yourself. Who are you? What are you trying to say? These are very, very important things because that's what comes through your sculpt. That's what comes through your work. And, if you have nothing to say, then, that's going to be a much bigger problem to you than not knowing how to subdivide a mesh in ZBrush.
Yeah. I want to ask you, what's the process of creating your sculptures, especially, for example, Giraffe, Turtago, and others? What's the process in your head when you are starting to work on them?
Oh, that one that you have now is a very funny one.
I love it. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. So the process for me, I have like two starting ideas when two kind of main things that I think about. First one is if I want to challenge myself in a particular way. So I feel there's some part, is it organic modeling or, sculpting a face or something like that I really want to challenge myself. And I search for such projects and stuff like that that's going to push me to develop a certain skill.
Yeah.
So that would be one approach. And the other approach would be just something that I really want to sculpt. It's not about acquiring new skills or testing out new ideas or something like that. It's just something that I, either thought of or some 2D concept art that I've seen that I really wanted to sculpt, that I thought, oh my God, this would be great to sculpt in 3D. So that's my starting point. And then I just take it from there. And I would say, like we said, it's so important just to start. I found out there's like two different types of artists. One type of artist is the one that kind of plans out the route and is a bit methodical in his work. And the other one is that just, expresses, just works quickly, and then kind of lets things happen. And I'm kind of the first type of sculptor, a first type of artist. I like to take a methodical approach to creating my sculpts. I like to start really from the basic forms and just build from them. And I always I think it would be fun for me to try and just create a series of sculpts where I just start from zero and just start doing something and see where it takes me. That would be really challenging for me, I have to say.
Maybe it wouldn't, I'm thinking I bounce between both of them. Sometimes I just start doing it, sometimes explore, but I must say that my designs, even though I do hard surface, they look always much better when I plan them, because there is more exploration till it all starts.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of artists. I can't remember the name of one woman, I don't know what pronoun to use. She has, like the ZBrush has live streams. She's very famous.
Alina Ivanchenko, maybe. Pink hair, she does sculptors.
Yes.
Alina Ivanchenko.
Yes.
Yeah, Alina is great.
She's very expressive and she just, she just goes for it. I love watching her. I love watching her streams because, it's just so opposite from how I sculpt. And I always think to myself, oh man, I have to try this, just kind of go off in some crazy tangent and see where it takes me.
Yeah, she's awesome. She is supposed to be a guest on the stream soon, I hope. And
oh, brilliant.
Yeah, she's great. She's at the moment working. I think she's in Montreal. Yeah, but she has a very. I always say when I see her work, she has a very dreamy kind of feel to her work, like a fairy tale. But that's what we were talking about. She's putting through her hands her soul, and you can feel it on the image. And I think it's very successful because you can see her soul on the image. It's very dreamy. But if I try to do it, it would never look like anything like that, so
I don't know. I guess it's a challenge. I have to put a public challenge right now to myself, to do a series of sculpts that are going to be just some crazy, just start from something and get somewhere.
Yeah. It is every art, every design is expression of artist designer's soul, and the more rich that soul is, the better it gets. And some people do a lot try to learn the craft, just the craft. But if you don't have emotions inside of you and experiences, adventures, I don't see that going good. I mean, adventures, that doesn't mean climbing Mount Everest and stuff like that, but...
yes, that's also good.
Any kind of, adventures.
DarMar, I do some free climbing, so I promise you, next time you come to Split, we're gonna hang you from a wall.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You're gonna find out so much about yourself.
Oh my God. I just imagine myself hanging from the wall and being beaten with the baseball bats.
The wind is breezing, and you're standing on the rock trying to grab some small impossible hold, and you're asking yourself over and over, why am I doing this?
Don't hit my face, my body. Okay. Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's the DarMar challenge for Split.
Okay. I will be avoiding Split for sure in the next couple of years. But let's answer some questions. I want to do this in the middle of the stream because there is a lot of them. And let's start with the first one. I think that this is an interesting question. Do you think that name is important for a person who is just starting? I want to create an account to start posting my progress, but then I start to overthink it and never start the process. Karina Yurchenko is asking that.
I don't think it's important. I don't think it's important at all. It helps. First of all, I mean, if you're gonna really like you do it with your DarMar, kind of, it's like a brand. It's not your real name, it's your brand, and you're kind of pushing that brand, and it's a very specific career path that you take, and it's a very deliberate and something that you think about. And if that's something that somebody else is interested in, then you might think about a name as something that's more important. But if that's not something that you really have like a clear idea, I don't think it's important at all. I mean, there's really a lot of amazing artists out there, and if you're good enough, everybody's gonna know your name. Don't worry about it.
That's absolutely work represents the name. That's what we were saying. Many people keep forgetting that DarMar appeared in 2016, and that it was developed as a brand in, let's say, in only 2 years, but it was hard work. Not just hard work, it was marketing plus good work, designs being posted all the time. So good work started being connected to DarMar before that. If somebody said DarMar before 2016, nobody would knew it. Same with any other name, the work is connected to it in the marketing. I don't think there is a bad name in the world, because I see a lot of people trying to avoid their name. I think that the question is, why are you avoiding it? Which part of you are you avoiding?
It's funny thing that I used to say this, but for the first like 30 years of my life, everybody was calling me Miso.
Miso soup.
Misho.
Soup.
Misho.
Ah,
It's Misho actually. Misho.
Yeah.
Nobody was calling me Milivoj. Like nobody, not even my mother. Nobody was calling me Milivoj. It was funny because you mentioned it. So I have also a funny relationship with my name as well.
But that's a nickname. You know what's a funny thing? My father is also called Misho, and he's Miodrag.
Oh, really? There you go.
For his life. So it's interesting,
There you go. You go.
But Misho is still made out of your name, and you were given that by people as a nickname when you were young. So the question is, why are you avoiding your name? If you have it, like, don't avoid it. Question yourself why you are avoiding it. But of course, there are some people who go with a nickname, and
unless your name is super, super complicated.
Yeah.
Because like if something like that, like really super complicated, I wouldn't think about it.
It has to be very vocal when you pronounce it. And Karina, for example, I don't see anything wrong.
It's very good.
Yeah, I think it's very international. People can pronounce it without the problem.
Yeah. It's not gonna be Milivoj. I'm Milivoj,
Milivoj.
Most of the time.
Dorko.
Okay,
Markovic.
Let's go.
Dorko.
Yes, let's go. Let's see. What else do we have?
Let's see.
Okay.
One more question.
So you pick.
Yeah. Do you use Gumroad?
No, I was actually thinking about using Gumroad, but in all honesty, I couldn't upload the type of video that I had. I had to convert it to MP4 or something like that, and I was honestly too lazy to do it.
No, okay. But
because there's a lot of videos, it was a lot of videos, and I just, and I kind of focused on Udemy. So yeah, but I might use it in the future.
We had a question to compare Udemy and Gumroad, but since you didn't use Gumroad, there is no point. And one more question, then we proceed. Guys, please hit the subscribe button if you still haven't. Share, like, comment, because this will support the stream and give me boost to keep on making these kind of videos. And one more question, then we continue with the stream. And if you have more questions, please do post them. I will try to tell Milivoj all the questions, even though he will know them before me because he's scrolling to the chat all the time. But question is, do you typically work from concept art or other reference? Jonathan Lloyd is asking.
Hi, Jonathan. Yeah, so many times I would use concept art. A few times I haven't used it, a few times, but if you look at my sculpts and my work, you will see many times that I do use it. I just see something that really inspires me, and I can't resist the urge of trying to sculpt it in 3D. And in all honesty, I try to learn drawing a couple of times in my life, and it's really something that I want to learn so badly, but I can't seem to find time. And so if I knew how to draw better, I would probably hash out ideas on my own a bit more. But like this, I just kind of find it much easier to, just peruse and find some concept art that I really like and kind of try to incorporate that in my work. And I should also say that big part of my work is also the short films that we're doing. And that's a whole different story. It's what we do in the studio, and it's also my big passion. It's something that we do. If you go to Prime Render studios.com, you'll see our short films, and that's a totally different part of my creative process, and it's something that I love doing. Most of those short films were directed by my brother Veljko Popovic, and a big shout out to him. It's really something, it's a place where we really put our souls out there and tell stories that affect us deeply. So do check them out as well.
Awesome. I wanna talk now about the main subject of this stream. Your competition contest has started 5 or 6 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. And can you tell us a little bit about the competition contest that I'm a judge on?
Yeah, so once you signed up for judging, I knew it's gonna be, it's gonna be a fun one. So yeah, the contest started really as my thank you to the students of the Udemy course. I just wanted to do something for them, kind of give back as well. And I was thinking how to do that, and I felt, a contest would be really, really nice, so everybody can join in, they can have this great experience, they can start creating something, and also win some nice prizes. But then I started, as I was building it, it kind of grew bigger and bigger, and really huge shout out to all our sponsors. I mean, we have Zbrush, Pixologic there. We have 3D Total. We have, Luxion coming with Keyshot. And I felt the contest really outgrew the first initial idea to be closed just to the students of the ZBrush course. And I decided to open it up for everybody. So I'm inviting everybody to join in the challenge. Again, we have some great prizes, and the theme is fruit and vegetables.
I like the subject. I like the subject, especially.
It's something that we do, something that we do at the beginning of our course, of the Sculpting in ZBrush course. We start with the fruits and vegetables. We start sculpting apples, bananas, and pumpkin as well. And I just thought it would be really appropriate to try and take those subjects to the next level. And so, yeah, so that's the theme. And I like it because you can focus on just one character. You don't have to spend, months sculpting some huge scene. You can do that as well, of course. You can do more characters. You can do a scene or whatever you like. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun one. I hope people are already joining in. They started sculpting. And I look forward to, reviewing those together with you and together with Mike.
Yeah, Mike Jelinek is also there.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I love him. He does some fantastic work also in VR as well. A lot of concept art he also did. And I see how much of the criteria is about unique concept and how much is judging the actual execution. It's a question directly related to this subject, so I'm just going to answer it quickly. I guess there's a little bit of both. And that's always, it's nothing is black and white.
Sorry, which question are you answering? Can you read the question first?
Barak Twito, how much of the criteria is about unique concept and how much is judging the actual execution? So if your execution is really poor and your original idea is brilliant, you're gonna be like half and half. So somebody that has a good idea and good execution is gonna be better than you. Then again, if you have a really vanilla, lousy idea and your execution is great, that's also not going to be a number one place. So I guess on my side, that's at least we have 3 judges. So everybody's going to, have their own favorites. For me, it's always about the balance. Don't create a huge scene that you don't have time to sculpt and where all the elements are not sculpted really good. Try to make a nice balance, and this is something that is a very good skill to learn in real world. You have to pace yourself and not go overboard and then end up with something looking really bad.
I see. Interesting. So they have 22 days to enter the competition.
Yeah. So 22 more days. That's a lot of time. I think you can create something really nice and really unique in this time.
Yeah, I think it's perfect for that time because 20 also almost 1 month is perfect, I think, to create something in that way. And as you said, I wouldn't also go with a crowded scene. I would like to see a good design, maybe even single object, but a good design, good expression of the face, if there is a face, and yeah, definitely something like that.
Yeah.
And what you said, that they're we mentioned the prices and everything. How long? My question is, I always have this question in my head because I participated in more than 15 competitions or something like that.
Yeah, you're a star.
Yeah, I'm a star.
You're an ArtStation winner.
ArtStation winner 2016.
Oh yeah, respect. DarMar.
My question is, when, how long will they have to wait to get the results?
Well, I think it's gonna depend on the judges actually. It's gonna be like 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is enough time to go through all the entries and to start fighting about who's gonna get what prize and stuff like that. So between us, I think like 10 days of blood battle. That's gonna I think around I think 2 weeks. Okay. 2 weeks should be.
Okay, because it's very important. I participated in so many competitions, but every time when they would be delayed, it would destroy a competition for me. I don't know why, but it's just like that. So 2 weeks, guys. I think that's perfect for you to wait. And now you have it written on the stream and spoken on the stream where it's gonna happen, so you can throw vegetables at Milivoj if it doesn't go good.
Yes, and I also wanted to say, I think this is the first competition that I've seen, at least I think with these nice prizes, that's also aimed at total beginners.
Yeah, that's true. That's completely true.
So most, like you see all of these competitions out there, but you see people doing some crazy good work. I mean, that's just insane how good work they do for these competitions these days. And I think it's very, very nice to also have a competition that has a category that's aimed at people who are, intermediate beginners, who can also try and who can actually win a first place at a competition. So I'm also looking forward to see, what the students are going to make and how they're going to swim in this competition waters, so to say.
Yeah, competition is always good. I always say that because it makes you push your limits, and second, makes you see what's your position really in the industry. Because you are competing with the professionals or with the beginners, and ranking system is super important. It will give you insight where you're positioned and how much you need to improve to get a job in this highly competitive industry.
Yeah. It's tough out there.
Yeah, it is super tough. You know it. You have been there from 2004. Everything is possible. Everything is manageable. I'm not gonna lie. It's super tough. It's super exhausting. It's
what the hell are you doing? You should be accountants. Go work at a bank.
Sell ice cream on the beach.
Sell ice cream. Work in a coffee shop. It's not too late.
Come on. If you have a dream, you will get it. That's how it works in my head. But if it's easy, no. But it's perfect now. Your competition will show them where they are positioned, and they can move from there in a good direction with their career. I saw a question here, and they are asking Matteo Dalben. I hope I'm pronouncing your names good, guys. Hello, I have a question. If you want to apply for a studio, should I make something similar to their work? Should I try to take their work as a reference for a personal project? Thank you.
So yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question, and I think also you have something also you can contribute to this for sure. But I think somebody it was Ryan Kinsley. He did a few times. He did this portfolio review. Live portfolio reviews, which is really, really nice. And he said a few things that kind of stuck in my head also. So if you're applying to work at Blizzard, then you need to make Blizzard-like characters. They have a very specific IP. They have a very specific look. And, So if you're applying for a studio that has a very specific look, then perhaps it's a good idea to try to make your portfolio follow their visual language. But if you really don't want to do that, then I think you should just do the style that makes you most comfortable and something that speaks to yourself as a person. And it's a big conundrum, you know, because if you have a very strong and specific style, a lot of artists have that. You might miss out on some opportunities because directors will see you and they will see that all of your work, it has one very specific style, and if it's not good for them, you might not get that job. So, you know, if you have a strong style, I would say, you know, stick to it, and, you know, hopefully it will work out. Otherwise, you know, it's a tough question.
It is a double-edged sword, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, if you're speaking about concept art and stuff like that, you develop your style after some time, and that's unavoidable. You can't avoid it. But problem is you have to be smart about it. And I know that many artists still want to work for Blizzard. It's their dream. And I have nothing against that. It's okay, but have in mind that there is thousands of artists that want to work in Blizzard. They maybe have 30 positions. So that's you know, that's gonna be a hard path. But then again,
maybe you can work in Blizzard.
Yeah, and
like a Blizzard knockoff. Yeah, like a Chinese Blizzard knockoff studio that also does trolls and goblins, you know. There's a lot of those, I think. There's a lot of those as well.
There is definitely, but Blizzard has such a strong style, and it has influenced so many generations. Like, I think we are the third generation that's influenced by them and their video games. And
yeah, it's crazy.
But it's such a strong style that if you have only that style, only you will work in the Blizzard. There is no other place to work. And my experience when I was starting out was build a good design. What do I mean by building a good design? You don't have to have a specific style, but more variety in products you have in your products. By products, I mean characters, different kind of, I don't know what you do. You can do characters, environments. The more possibilities for job you will have. When I was starting out, I used to do only cars, vehicles.
Yeah.
And there was no job for that at the moment. I was not getting a job with them because there is not that many jobs for that. And I was like, I need to do weapons, I need to do armors, I need to do props, I need to do this, I need to do that. And the more I reached the portfolio, the more clients I was getting. What you put in your portfolio, that's the client you get. And I can tell you this. If you're applying for a specific studio, as you said in the question, follow their style. Because they will accept you. I worked in the specific 2 companies in last 2 years. I worked for 7 months on the new projects, upcoming projects. And they hired people by taking my portfolio and sending to them and telling them to model my design. Personal work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they would send that and they would tell them model this. And because they knew that my style would translate to the game because I was leading the design team. And the design hard surface style, and they would model that, and they were taking them like that. But I don't know how smart move is that to do, because you should be building your style. You should be building your style. That was a specific situation, and you are also having that. So it's
I can say I can say on my side when we're searching for somebody, you can see, you know, if they're good or not. You can't hide this, you know. And for me, you know, if I see somebody that does some really good work and the style is not something that's fitting our vision for the project, if we really like him, we would just tell him, hi, can you create something in this style? We would love to see it.
Yeah.
You know, can you do like an art test or something like that? And a lot of studios are doing those art tests. So at the end of the day, I mean, if you have the skill, if you have the knowledge, that's all that really matters. You know, you're not gonna lose a job if you're really good.
I will tell you one more story from my life before I started being.
So I have to, yeah, we forgot about DarMar. You know, DarMar is also there.
That's what I wanted
He's our
to
dinosaur.
say.
He's our dinosaur guy. He's
awesome.
He's so funny. He's such a funny guy and also a brilliant artist. And he's a great example of the portfolio question, actually.
Yeah.
You know, he just does dinosaurs. And if you need a dinosaur, he's your guy. And that's his passion, you know. That's what he loves doing. And he always has jobs, you know. He always has work.
Remember,
but,
guys,
you know,
be
it's
hard
just
for what other people see in your portfolio. Remember that. So don't do something that you don't like, because very fast you can start being called for that.
Yeah. You have to sit, you know, 8 hours a day or who knows how long, sculpting some things that you don't like. That's not something you want to strive for. That's a very good point also there.
Yeah, you put in portfolio, but one more thing from my career, I forgot to say that before I started becoming DarMar and entering concept art industry, and when I was kicked out of Italy and came back for car design, I came back to Belgrade. There is no car design here. There is no concept art here. At least I didn't know about concept art. Companies didn't exist. And I was like, maybe I can try industrial design. And there were 2 companies for industrial design. And companies were making, at that moment, I don't remember the names, but they were the biggest ones. And one was creating bottles for water and for alcohol, and the other one, and they were also doing barbecues. They were also doing some boats, but not the boat. I'm not talking about yachts and stuff like that. Some molded boats and so on. And I came and I approached them and I wanted to work for them because I needed the money and I wanted to enter the industry anyhow to try. And the guy looks at my portfolio and he's like, you have a Lamborghini scholarship, you do cars, you worked in car design, you were in Torino working, you design spaceships, but do you have any bottles? And I was like,
really?
I don't have a fucking bottle.
I hate that. I hate it.
And he looks at me.
I fucking hate that.
He looks at me and he takes a portfolio and he throws it in my face on the desk and he's like, when you have some bottles, please call me.
Yeah, I get that. Oh my God, I hate that about freelancing world. I can't tell you how much I hate it.
I wanted in-house to work and I was like, I'm gonna show you.
Here's a fucking bottle.
I'm gonna show you the bottles. I will model tonight one bottle, man, for you.
Oh my God! It's like, oh, you model. You're 3D modeling. Do you have any shoes? Do you have any Nike shoes? Do you have any? You know? Oh my God! I have to control my language. You know? It's just come on, people.
You will
come
meet
on.
Different kind of people. You will meet different kind of people in the industry.
You're killing me. Okay, here's a shoe. You know? Are you happy now?
Here is your freaking cylinder of the bottle.
I throw your shoe in your head.
But I think that at that moment, I think for him, and if you are listening, I think for him it was like, let's put him down. Let's put him down. Like let's humiliate him. It's humiliating.
Yeah,
so guys, don't get disappointed by that. You will be meeting that kind of people a lot in the art industry. Egos are super big here and super strong, and but have what they need in the portfolio, 99%. Because that's how it works. And some girl got the job after me because she didn't have bottles, but she had packaging design in her portfolio, so she was obvious choice for them.
Yeah, of course.
So
nice.
So
it's
yeah.
Nice. Now they could have spaceship bottles, DarMar style, and they missed out on that. That's their loss. That's their loss.
I don't think I would be very happy designing bottles, to be honest.
Sure, you would be. You would be adding weapons to the bottles and stuff like that.
I think life looked at me and was like, man, bottles are not for you, boy. Move from here. Move. Run.
Okay. Oh my God.
So.
Oh, that's a work I did a long time ago.
This one, the angel.
Yeah. I wanted to do a full body armor. That was my meditation. I just wanted to do a full body armor, but you know, it's I can't escape the story side of it. I just wanted to practice like a full body armor, but then I I just decided, I just wanted to tell a story, and that's something I'm very passionate about. Just at the end, telling some kind of a story, and I do like quirky characters that are underdogs. So this is kind of an off character for me, so to say.
I love underdogs, man. I love underdogs.
I just love some crazy situation. Nick Cave said one thing about his writing process that I really like. And he says, what I like to do, I like to put a clown, a serial murdering clown in one room together with something completely opposite. Like a small child, and see what happens.
Yeah, that's
something like
I'm just thinking about
just
that.
like complete opposites, and just put them one against each other and see what happens.
David and Goliath.
Yeah, it's something like that that really makes something that you wanna, some story that you wanna tell.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress a little bit.
No, no worries. Stream is open for any kind of story when it comes to art.
So how much time do we have? We're running out of time.
We are finishing soon, but I want you to answer one more question. Jan C is questioning, I'm not much of a concept artist. How would you go about getting good concept art to sculpt for your portfolio? Asking friends, searching online, and so the question is, how do you get good concept art to...
Yeah, there's some really good, there's some great places like ArtStation and 3D Total and...
But do you ask them? That's, I think, the
CG
question.
Society.
Do you ask them for the permission? How does that work? I never did anybody else's work. That's why I think it is interesting to hear the answer.
Yeah, it is. I mean, all of the people that I used the concept art for, like, I would say 70% of them I asked for permission. And if I didn't ask for permission, I would always put a link to the original art and credit them and put their name there. So I don't think it's 100% necessary to ask for somebody's permission if you're going to take their 2D concept art and create a 3D model of it. You do have to credit them for this, and you of course cannot sell it or something like that without, if you're just doing it as a portfolio piece, I don't think it's the end of the world, honestly. If you it's great. You should always contact them, but sometimes people will not answer or something like that. This happened to me maybe like once or twice. People just never answered, and I really wanted to do it. So I just did it, and I credited them, and I said, this is the concept art that I worked off, and, and that was it. And if somebody's really super offended by it, I would just remove it, but I don't think people would ever react in such a way.
I don't think people get ever offended about that, even if it's bad. Yeah. Like they shouldn't be getting offended. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna sell it or something like that, then you should definitely consult them and see. And I shared once. I don't have it right now. There's a very well written article on copyright for derivative work. And that's something that you should Google. And that's the law that defines the copyright that exists of a derivative work. So if somebody creates a 2D art and you create a 3D concept, that's a derivative work. And it has a very specific copyright law that tackles these issues. And, if it's original art, do you own the right for it? How much of the right do you own? And stuff like that. So that's something, if you ever want to go on the business side of things, that you should, study.
Yeah. One more question, Axel.
Yeah, let's do a couple of quick ones.
That's one more. Axel Wild is suffering from topology anxiety. I never heard about that, but I would like to study course to study it further. Is there a good program? I will immediately stop reading this question. If you dislike topology, then why would you study it even more if it gives you anxiety? Like, you understand that your whole you understand that your whole life you will be spending with that anxiety, then do something that you like better than torture yourself, like learning.
Yeah, that's what I hate about gaming industry. There's a lot of retopology involved. I mean, in animation also, topology is very important. You can't escape it. And topology is something that I really take seriously, so to say. Also, sometimes when I sculpt, just because I started in 2004, where there was only edge loops and topology, there was no sculpting. That didn't exist, so there was only topology, edge loops, and extrude. That was the only thing.
Do you remember
so topology,
making the head?
And
I remember Chris
so
Costa
all you spoiled kids out there that don't know and don't appreciate topology, screw you all.
You remember?
But you don't have to worry about
modeling the freaking pores. Pores with quads. So guys, we are not talking retopper on the head. We are talking modeling freaking quads.
You had to model everything.
Oh my god, like that.
Everything.
I need to get this I need to make one stream where I will be showing the work from 2004 and bring two people from the industry who worked then, like, to just so people can see and appreciate the new software, like.
Yeah, so now with ZBrush and the Sculptress Pro and stuff like that, and Z-Remesher, I would say like 90% of the times you really don't have to worry about topology. And the 10% times, there's Topogon and there's a few softwares out there that really make retopology.
Maya has auto retopo. Maya has auto retopo.
Maya is great. It's very expensive though. I mean, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. For Balkans, but
oh my god, I didn't still try it. I moved to Blender, so I didn't try Maya.
Yeah, Blender is great. Topogon is just now coming out with their upgrade after so many, I think like 3 years of no upgrades. I've just seen it on Twitter. Somebody tweeted out that Topogon is coming out, and I watched the short video, and it's really crazy. It's really good. I would, that's why I mention it, just because I've seen like 2 days ago that they're coming out now with a new update. So, you have 3D code and stuff like that. That's out there. But I would say Z-Remesher in ZBrush is going to get you there 90% of the times, unless you're sculpting for animation and you need particular edge loops at particular places.
Yeah, that retopo is becoming automatical. I give it 1 more year, that is gonna be completely
I think it's going to be just like one-click solution for sure.
What do you think is gonna happen with all the guys that work in the industry and do just retopo?
Well, let me tell you, that's a stream that you should make, an entire stream that I think it's a very good subject to talk about the future of CG industry, in regards to automatization and artificial intelligence. I think that's a very, very important talk that you should do on your channel. It's really, I've seen stuff that really, some groundbreaking artificial intelligence stuff regarding even to modeling and animating and all the branches of the industry. There's one talk from a guy that's huge on Blender. I don't know his name. He talks about this. It's a talk. You can find it on YouTube. It will pop out. It's very popular. He really talks very, very intelligently about, the future of our industry, in the upcoming years.
Blender Guru, I think. Blender Guru, is that him?
I think it's him. He did a talk, and it's very good.
Awesome.
You should watch it.
You should definitely watch that, guys. He's awesome. His talks are also awesome, very professional. And he's the guy, there are a couple of people that pushed the Blender when Blender was nobody. And now, because of them, the Blender is where it is. So, yeah.
So I just want, reci bok. Reci nešto. So my little daughter is here, but she's very shy.
Hi. Ciao.
Okay, so they're all here. So let me just, Tara, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
So, okay, I just wanted them to be recorded live on stream. So in 10 years, I can make fun of them and say, you see, you were there. I recorded you.
Yeah, but they are nice. They ask you, I will translate. They ask, can we enter the room, please?
Yeah. Anybody who has kids can, say that, being in a house with kids for 1 hour without them interrupting is a huge feat.
Yeah, it is huge. So guys, we are finishing with this stream. I'm very happy that I had you for the guest. And please, guys, join the competition, guys. Please, you saw the website. The website is I will just check. Sorry, the website goes on primerenderstudios.com. You go there and you can subscribe on the competition. Competition lasts for 22 more days. You have great rewards there. And this was episode 36, if you can imagine. With
my God, Popovic. You're becoming an institution.
I'm becoming an institution. Jesus Christ, I'm becoming an Apple of streams.
Yes.
We are having a next guest. His name is Marko Popovic, and he is the founder of IFCC Festival. If you are curious to know about him and his story, please do join us next time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on the stream. Thank you to everybody who joined us live here and for everybody who's going to listen to this later on. It was a huge pleasure. I hope to see your submissions in our competitions. And, if you're just starting with Zbrush, you can try sculpting in Zbrush on Udemy. I hope you will like it. And thank you so much.
Thank you for joining. See you some other day, guys, on the stream. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night on whichever area of the earth you are. Bye.